Hey guys, how's it going? This is Luke G here from Next Level Gaming Guides, and in this episode I am going to revamp the revamp video of me talking about rep paladins. I realize now after going back and looking at the video that I did misread some abilities, and also it was the first 15 minutes that I was on the actual beta itself. So I was using abilities wrong because I misread them, and the bars were really messed up, so I didn't even know where to put stuff or what to do. But now I have a better understanding of everything that's going on, and I feel like if I don't give you 100% correct information, you come to me for the wisdom of the game, of the beta, the stuff that you can't get into. So I feel like it's my obligation to redo that episode, so I'm redoing it just for you guys. If you're ready, let's go. Alright, now I am Retribution Spec right now. I'm going to go through every spell in the spell book because when you're Retribution, this is what you're going to have at level 85. I'm also going to go over the talents as well. I do have a couple talents selected on this guy, and then I'll switch over to the other spec and try out some other talents for you. Your racial is right here, your Arcane Torrent. Everyone knows that. Auto attack, Avenging Wrath, increases all damage and healing caused by 20% for 20 seconds. While Avenging Wrath is active, you heal for 2% of your maximum health every 4 seconds. 3-minute cooldown. Blessing of Kings. Like before, gives you strength, agility, and intellect, plus 5%. Definitely a great ability. Blessing of Might has changed. Now what it does is it places a blessing on a friendly target, increasing mastery by 5. That's 5 mastery points. Cleanse is your next one here. Cleanse is a friendly target, removing all poison and disease effects. 8-second cooldown. Some of these are new, some of them aren't new. This one's not new, but I'm reading every single ability. That way we know exactly what it does. And Crusader Strike. This is your one to pretty much open with, to pretty much get your holy power up. One of your main abilities, attack an enemy with your weapon and generate a charge of holy power. Does a considerable amount of damage as well, 600 mana, 4-second cooldown. Next one, Divine Protection, or aka pretty much the same as before. 1-minute cooldown, reduces magical damage taken by 40%. Now, I believe it was different before. I thought it was just reduces damage taken by 40%. So let me know in the comments below if that's what it was before. I don't quite remember. They're using the same numbers, but was it magical or was it overall damage? Next is Divine Shield. You know it as Bubble. 5-minute cooldown, instant, protects you from all damage from spells for 8 seconds, and reduces all damage you deal by 50%. Cannot be used on a target with Forbearance, causes Forbearance for 1 minute. So everyone knows Bubble. Divine Storm has changed. Divine Storm costs 3 Holy Power now instead of building Holy Power, and it is an area on attack that consumes 3 charges of Holy Power to cause 50% weapon damage to all as holy damage to all nearby enemies within 8 yards. So this is a really great ability for AoEing, but you really wouldn't use it in a lot of situations except for AoEing because you definitely are going to be still using your holy power for your bigger attacks, like your Templar's Verdict, the 3 holy power on Divine Storm. I don't really get that. I don't really think that it should be. I think it should generate holy power like it did before, but I think that it should generate no matter how many targets you hit. That makes a little bit more sense. Then we have Emancipate. This is a new ability. Now this is a really good ability. It costs 5,000 mana, which actually is a lot of mana for a Rep Paladin because they typically don't have very much mana. What it does is it unshackles your spirit, freeing you from 1 movement impairing effect. You can spam this over and over again, which is cool. Like, I'll do it right down here. Now, it does cost 5,000 mana, but it's another way with your freedom to get out of movement impairing effects. Exorcism has changed a little bit. It forcefully attempts to expel the evil from the target. It's a little lore RP stuff there, with a blast of holy light, causing 20,870 damage, holy damage, and generates a charge of holy power. So it generates holy power now, which is great. There's no cast time on it anymore like there used to be, so it's now instant cast. Definitely plays into your rotation even more than it did before. Fist of Justice. Well, this is actually Hammer of Justice. I actually have the talents for this to make it Fist of Justice. And what it does is instant cast, 30-second cooldown, stun a target so they can't harm you or flee for a short time. It will stun it for X amount of seconds. I don't know why it doesn't say on there. They must be revamping that right now. But it is right here. You can see. Okay, and let's go back into the book. Oh, I was actually on the same page. Flash of Light. Now, people have been asking, do you get Holy Light or anything like that? The only two heals that you get for right now is Flash of Light and your Word of Glory. You do not get Holy Light, you do not get Divine Light or anything like that. They want you to go into Holy Spec if you want those abilities, which is, in my opinion, a kind of a little bit of a nerf for Ret Paladins. I think Ret Paladins are nowhere near as good as they really should be in this expansion, and it's actually making me question playing a Ret Paladin. Guardian of the Ancient Kings, seen it before. Summons a Guardian to help you. It's a 3-minute cooldown. From what I remember, it's a 5-minute cooldown from before, so I think they dropped that down by 2 minutes, which is good. We'll summon him for 30 seconds to deal damage for you, and it also increases your strength. But it sounds like on here it seems like different. They're not really. You have to understand, guys, this is the beta, so things are going to change. So they actually change the wording on stuff on these abilities so that they don't get misleading, so people don't think they're going to be really overpowered. So then we have Hammer of the Righteous. For some reason, this ability is in your Retribution spec. This is a protection spec ability, pretty much, and what it does is cost 600 mana, 4-second cooldown, instant cast. Hammer the target for 20% weapon damage, causing a wave of light that hits all targets within 8 yards for 3,685 holy damage. And applying the Weaken Blows effect grants a holy charge to the Paladin. So you do get a holy power, which is good. You would only use this, I think, for the Weaken Blows effect, just to put this little debuff on them for 30 seconds that will reduce their physical damage dealt by 10%. Not something you're going to use a lot to build up holy power, because you have a lot of abilities that actually build up holy power, and your rotation's kind of full, so you don't really have room for this. So I think they could really do some other stuff with this ability, but as far as it goes, I mean, it's okay. It's one of those things where, like, if you have everything on cooldown, you can't wait 2 seconds to get another holy power, you could use this and you could demoralize them and also get a holy power. So right now, it's the only kind of use I see for it. Hammer of Wrath, the picture on it has changed. Hurls a magical hammer that strikes an enemy for 12,395 holy damage and generates a charge of holy power. So now even your Hammer of Wrath is giving you holy power. When you use Avenging Wrath and you get to spam this pretty much, you will actually get a lot of holy power. So I like that Ret Paladins are actually building more holy power now. That's one problem I saw with the last expansion. And it's only usable on targets with 20% or less health. So, and that's that. Next, Hand of Freedom. Seen it before, same type of thing. 25-second cooldown, 1400 mana, removes you from impairing effects, such and so forth. Hand of Protection, an emergency button. It says an emergency button that will protect an ally from physical attacks for a short time, but prevents them from attacking. They don't tell you how much seconds or anything like that. They're still working on the numbers in beta. So if you ever see something where they don't tell you how much damage it does or this or that, that is going to change. Hand of Purity. This is one of the talents that I also picked up on here as well. Just for this, just to mess around and test it out. The server apparently is going to restart in 8 minutes, so I'm going to try and get through this book as quick as possible. What it does is it actually reduces damage done to you by 70% for 6 seconds. Wait, let me redo that. Reducing the damage of harmful periodic effects. So any dots that are on you reduces that by 70% damage for 6 seconds. You can put it on other players. You can put it on yourself. 1 minute cooldown for 1400 mana. It's not a bad ability. There may be better things. I just didn't really look too much. And a Sacrifice, like we've seen from before. And a Salvation, not really something we need to cover. Inquisition, and what it does now is consumes 3 holy power to increase your holy damage by 30%, lasts 10 seconds per charge, so we've seen that before. with the Inquisition. Judgment now actually a magic attack that unleashes the holy damage. So it looks like they took out adding holy power with your judgments. Maybe they did that because they give it to you with the Hammer of Wrath, because earlier in the expansion this actually built holy power. I'm going to test this out a little bit later for you. Lay on Hands, seen it before. Rebuke, really nice. There's actually a glyph that makes Rebuke even better, so maybe I'll cover that a little bit later, which we've seen this ability before though. Then Reckoning, this is your taunt ability pretty much. Redemption, res ability. Righteous Fury, you're holding aggro. Sacred Shield is another talent that I grabbed on here. And let's get to it real quick. And right now, I feel like it's broken. I feel like it's really broken. It doesn't do enough, and you have to keep spamming it to keep it on yourself. It protects you for 30 seconds, but it only protects, which increases the critical strike chance of your Word of Glory, which is great, by 30%. So you can get a crit on that. That's great. That helps heal you. The shield also absorbs 7,400 damage. You know how much 7,400 damage is? Nothing. This character is in bad gear. This is a pre-made character that's in bad gear and has 128,000 health. That's not going to do very much. 7,400? I only pretty much like it for the Word of Glory getting the extra crit thing. But you can keep putting this on yourself. I don't like that you have to keep putting this on yourself. I think you should be able to put it on yourself like a power word shield, and it should be able to protect you for a while. This doesn't do enough. Seal of Insights, seen it before. Seal of Justice makes other people run slower when you hit them with it. Personally, I still use Seal of Truth. Seal of Justice is good for PvP as well, though. Seal of Righteousness, your AoE seal, is just built into one right now. Templar's Verdict is how you unleash all your holy power most of the time. It's pretty much your most damaging ability that you have. Turn Evil fears a undead or whatever, or you do it to like a pet from a from a warlock. Word of Glory, same as before, consumes 3 holy power to heal a friendly target, but then your damage is increased by 10% for 6 seconds after you cast Word of Glory. The only reason that that's on there right now is because I actually have a glyph for it. I believe I do. Yeah, it's right there. Increases your damage by 10% after 6 seconds when you cast Word of Glory. So that's a glyph that I have on there. Okay, a lot of this stuff are passives and everything like that. Mastery is still pretty much the same. Everything is pretty much, there's just a bunch of passive abilities that you can find out when you play. It's like parry and stuff like that. Nothing too exciting. After this server does pop back up, I'm going to show you what a couple more of these talents do, and then I'm going to show you what a couple more other talents do, and give you my insight on those and all that good stuff. So, be right back. Alright, we're just heading over to some mobs right now. I did already explain the Fist of Justice and the Hand of Purity to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to head over and to this target right here and show you what some of these other abilities do real quick. Alright, we're beating on this mob now. Well, he's beating on me. I'm going to go ahead and use this first ability here, the Long Arm of the Law, which is your judgment here that makes you run faster whenever you judgment somebody. And then also let's take a look at the damage reduction on Sacred Shield. Okay, and you can see it's pretty much gone instantly. Alright, these are the next ones I'm going to look at. We have Speed of Light, which increases your movement speed by 70% for 8 seconds. Repentance, which is now a castable ability. We have Eternal Flame, which is a new ability here. It costs 1 holy power, and it's an instant ability. Consumes up to 3 holy power, though, to place a protective holy flame on the friendly target, which heals them and per charge of holy power for 29.51 seconds. So that's not too bad. Probably most likely going to be something like a Holy Paladin ability. The next ability here, I've been going over this and going over this in my head to see why this is such a good ability. Why would this be a good ability? Like, what would be good in what situation? It's a 5-minute cooldown. When activated, immediately finishes the cooldown of your Hand of Freedom, Hand of Protection, and Hand of Sacrifice and Hand of Salvation. Now, this is why this is good. I have figured it out. This is not a Ret Paladin ability. It is not at all. The only reason it would be good for a Ret Paladin ability is to give you another Hand of Freedom. The problem here is, with the Hand of Protection, you get Forbearance on yourself, and it does not remove Forbearance. So, if you're a Holy Paladin, or if you want to use this as a Ret Paladin, but in, like, say, Arena or something, on one of your friendly targets or something like that, you could Hand of Protection your partner, then you could redo it, you could Hand of Protection your partner, Freedom yourself, then you could use this ability, Hand of Protection somebody else or yourself, and Hand of Freedom yourself again. So it does give you that ability to do that. Mainly you're going to see this being used like on Holy Spec, like I said, but it's an okay little ability. Then we have Holy Avenger, which is kind of like your Zealotry. 2-minute cooldown. Abilities that generate Holy Power will generate 3 charges of Holy Power for the next 20 seconds. Now, we have a lot more abilities that generate Holy Power now. So this ability is a little bit stronger, and it actually give you 3 charges of Holy Power. The 20 seconds, I think it should be a little bit longer, but it is a 2-minute cooldown. So let's take a look at some of these and we'll learn them. This is a whole new spec and everything like that, so that's why the bars are the way they are. Alright, let's take a look at some of these abilities here. First one here, Speed of Light. Use it, you run faster. It does last for a considerable amount of time. Not a bad ability for a 1-minute cooldown, so something to think about there. Next ability, Repentance has changed. It's not on a cooldown anymore, but it does have a cast time. And there will be diminishing returns as well. So treat it as like a sheep, pretty much. Okay. Next ability I want to show off is Eternal Flame. So if I can get this freaking guy over here. Fuck, screw off! God! There's so many people on these servers that you can't like get any mobs. I just need to build up some holy power here, jeez. Alright, here we go. It's going to build up a little bit of holy power, and now I'm going to use this ability. There we go. So now it's healing me for 1396 every 2 seconds. It's actually a pretty nice little ability. Little self-healing there. Probably going to be used on your Holy Paladin when you guys are in, when you guys are in a battleground or arena together or something like that. But definitely really cool. Now the Holy Avenger ability, like I said before, is kind of like your Zealotry, but because you have a lot more ways to build holy power now, it doesn't just come off of just your Crusader Strike. It comes off of other stuff too. So let's go ahead and get 4 of those. Or 3 of those, sorry. Alright, and here we are with Holy Avenger. And there we go. So I don't have a way to dump it out. I didn't put them on here. But that's pretty much, you would use it and it would go for you and help you get all that. I'm going to go over a couple glyphs and stuff that I've been liking right now. So here we go. Alright, I was doing a little bit more testing with this Eternal Flame on the break there, and it's actually a little overpowered. It heals you for a lot. And the fact is that it doesn't have a cooldown, and building 3 holy power right now is really easy. So getting 3 holy power and using something with that, or say like Holy Avenger, you're just like keeping yourself alive. Like just from that, you're healing yourself. Now probably could be dispelled or something like that, but that's a pretty crazy little ability, and personally I don't want them to nerf it because we've had a hard time healing ourselves for a while now as Ret Paladins. So let's go through and let's take a look at some of these glyphs. This is a protection glyph. Reduces the mana cost of your Crusader Strike with 30%. Okay. Let's just find something that's kind of new and interesting. Now this Glyph of Consecration, what this does, you only get Consecration from being Protection Spec. So using this ability will actually let you pick an area to go to, like kind of like a Flame Strike or something like that for a mage, instead of actually just going all the way around you. I have a feeling that's just going to be pretty much implemented into that by the end of this beta without the glyph. Okay, let's keep going through. Double Jeopardy here. Judging a target increases the damage of your next judgment by 20%, but only if you use on a different second target. So that's okay. And also Holy Wrath. I did not see it in the Retribution spec, so it's probably just a Holy ability or a Prot ability. When you flashlight a target, increases your next heal done by that target for 7 seconds by 10%. A heal that benefits from this effect cannot be re-triggered. Hammer of Wrath, you take 10% less damage for 10 seconds after using Hammer of Wrath. So when you use your wings and you're spamming Hammer of Wrath, you're taking 10% less damage. So not a bad ability. When you put that on top of the other ability, it makes them do 10% less damage. So that's 20% less damage. Holy Shock, once again, you do not get it in this thingy. Glyph of Immediate Truth increases the instant damage done by Seal of Truth by 20%, but decreases the damage done by the dot effect by 50%. Personally, do I think that's an upgrade? Do I think that's more damage? It is. They had to put the sensor thing on there, the 50% off, just so it's not too overpowered, because 20% would be a lot more, but I think that's not a bad little glyph. Now this one here is kind of situational. Glyph of Inquisition. Now it reduces the damage done by 10%, but increases the cooldown by pretty much double. Now, if you are one of those players that you're just learning the rotation and stuff like that, maybe this might be good for you because you want to make sure you always have Inquisition up. By not having it up, you're losing out on a lot of damage. But overall, I don't think it's that great. Now this is the Rebuke one I was talking about. Increases the cooldown by 5 seconds and lockout by 2 seconds of Rebuke. So it goes up from 4 seconds. Oh wait, no, it says increases the cooldown by 5 seconds. Oh, I'm sorry, I read that completely wrong. So the cooldown's a little bit longer, but the lockout is 2 seconds more, which is pretty nice, can be very useful in arenas. Then the Word of Glory one, like I showed you before, increases damage done by 10% for 6 seconds after you use Word of Glory. Definitely a really good thing there. We have a couple of these ones which are pretty cool. This Contemption one, I'll have to show you what that does. Now, it made me learn the ability. Let me go get it. Or Contemplation, sorry. It's just like a look thing. All the minor stuff are pretty much for looks. This one will put a fire whenever you crit with Judgment or Hammer of Wrath. I explained that in another video. And then your Seal of Blood, I messed this one up before. Your Seal of Truth now uses the Seal of Blood visual. So let's go see what that looks like. When you use it, it goes like this red thing like Seal of Blood. So, that's pretty much it though. But it's alright. And then you have this one right here, which I showed you in another video. Whenever you use Avenging Wrath, you have 4 wings instead of 2. So, that's all the stuff I wanted to show you. I am sorry about that other video that it was not 100% accurate. I hope this is a little better for you and actually gives you a little bit more of an understanding on what to expect with Red Paladins. Personally, I think they need to be upgraded a little bit. I think they need to keep this Eternal Flame because I think it's really overpowered. But we're going to see how things are going. I still need a server to go to because I think I'm going to level up on a different server. Am I going to play Paladin? I don't know. We'll see. I'm not liking a lot of the changes. Yeah, they didn't really get nerfed, but they didn't really get buffed either. And a lot of classes got buffed. Like Warlocks are way better now, and they were good before. Warriors are a little bit better now. And I have 2 more videos that I have shot on my computer and ready to go, which is the Warrior talents and the Mage talents. And I'll show you all those videos, and sometime I just don't want to spam your inbox too much by putting too many videos out. So until next time, guys, I hope this cleared up a little bit of stuff for you, and thanks for watching.